As the cold breeze swept through the night, we could feel the unmistakable presence of something watching us. We thought we were alone, but it soon became clear that we were not welcome in this place. It was December 2023. The chill of the winter was at its peak, and we had planned a trip to the north for some time. The trip had been in the making for years, but little did we know that it would be etched in our memories forever. We had just wrapped up our trip and were heading back. Our route was from Murree to Lahore, and then from Lahore to Karachi. Due to some unexpected road closures, we had to take an alternate route, a decision we would soon regret, after spending a day in Murree. We decided to spend the night there before heading to Lahore the next day. We checked into a hotel, a beautiful place with large glass windows that opened up to a mesmerizing view of the hills. The room was cozy, and everything seemed perfect, but as night approached, an unsettling feeling began to creep in. As the sun set, a strange heaviness filled the air. We felt as if we were intruding, as if someone, or something, didn't want us there. The unease grew stronger by the minute, and soon it became unbearable. We decided to go down to the reception and request a room change. It was already late, around 8 p.m., and the cold had set in deeply. The receptionist, with a kind smile, agreed to move us to an adjacent room that was available. Relieved, we packed our belongings and shifted to the new room, hoping for a peaceful night. But peace was not what we found. The new room was similar to the previous one, with large windows that offered the same stunning view. We drew the curtains tightly, hoping to shut out the cold and the eerie feeling that had followed us. As we prepared to sleep, a sudden chill swept through the room, as if a cold draft had snuck in. We dismissed it, thinking maybe the window wasn't fully closed. My brother went to check the window. He pulled back the curtain and saw that the window was indeed shut. But then, something caught his eye, a figure, sitting in the corner of the balcony from the room we had just vacated. He told me about it, but we decided to ignore it, thinking it was just our imagination playing tricks on us. We turned off the lights and tried to sleep, but sleep was elusive. Around 3:30 a.m., the atmosphere in the room changed drastically. It felt like someone, or something, was trying to suffocate me. I couldn't breathe, and it felt like an invisible force was pressing down on my chest. I jolted awake, gasping for air, my heart racing. My brother, sleeping next to me, woke up startled and asked what had happened. I told him what I had felt, and he tried to reassure me, saying it was just a bad dream. He suggested we recite some prayers and try to go back to sleep. We did as he suggested, but within minutes, a loud knock echoed through the room. The knock was so forceful that it seemed like the window would shatter if it continued. We all woke up in a panic, trying to make sense of what was happening. My brother rushed to the window and pulled back the curtain, but there was no one there. Just the empty, dark balcony staring back at us. But what we saw next sent chills down our spines. There, in the corner of the balcony, was the same figure, thin, almost skeletal, like an old child, with patches of skin peeling off. It sat there, motionless, its hollow eyes fixed on us. We were paralyzed with fear, unable to look away, yet too terrified to keep looking. We ran down to the reception, shaking with fear, and demanded to know what was going on. The staff seemed puzzled but agreed to come up with us to check the balcony. When we returned to the room, the figure was gone, and everything was as it should be, quiet, empty, normal. But we knew what we had seen. The staff offered to move us to yet another room, this time on a different floor. Exhausted and desperate for some rest, we agreed. The new room was in the middle of the building, away from any balconies or windows. We thought we could finally get some sleep, but as we turned off the lights and tried to relax, that same oppressive feeling returned. This time, it felt like the presence was inside the room with us. We couldn't stay there any longer. We grabbed our things and left, deciding to drive through the night rather than spend another minute in that place. As we drove away, I couldn't shake the image of that figure from my mind. Even now, as I recount this story, I can feel the goosebumps on my skin, and the terror that gripped us that night. Was it real? Was it a figment of our imagination? I leave it to you to decide. But I know what we experienced, and it's something I will never forget. If you've ever encountered something similar, or have a story to share, do let us know. Take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and always be aware of the unseen that might be watching.